Hello, beautiful people. Honest Am here, the creator of the Honestly Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another How to Become the Alchemist of Your Life video. All right, y'all, let's get into it. A little bit about me. I do not just use the tarot. I use God and cusses in the same sentence, and I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop showing to God, it will not stop me. Guys, make sure you check out the description box below. There are always additional information, as well as information about me and honestlysis.com. Did I say additional guidance? All right, make sure, engine number 40. All right, God, what messages do you have for us to become the alchemists of our lives, to help bring heaven on earth, or just to do magic in public? Please deliver these messages to me and through me as clear as possible. In God's name I pray, Ashe. All right. Actually, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm serious this time. There we go. All right, so the two cards that came out is you are a channel in which you are a channel through which the world, you are a channel through which healing energy reaches the world. That's what God wants you to understand. So any ideas, anything that you want to bring to light or anything that you want to do, God is saying that it is given to you because it is meant for you to bring it to life. Like, you are a channel. Like, that's why he chose you, period. Underneath this is follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. It will lead you to the truth that resides to your soul. And so what God wants you to understand is that the reason why he has been really putting these visions to life, because that was our last message. It was all about visions. The reason why he wants you to understand that it's so important for you to bring these visions to life is because that is how God is able to express himself through us. God cannot physically, like, God is in everything, right? He's in the birds, he's in the trees. We say this all the time, but then we forget that that also applies to us. So obviously, if there's a book that you want to write, or if there's something that you want to do, a movie or a song that you want to write, the reason why God is putting it on your mind in the first place is because obviously that's the way God wants to express himself. Like, he wants to express himself that way. Like, you are God. Like, and we have to understand that, like, this is how God is able to heal the world. And I really, truly feel like the world is in chaos because so many of us has forgotten that we are souls and that we are channels, and that, you know, the people that we admire have those things. You know, the people that we admire, we have those tools inside of us. And so what God is saying, if you would just connect into yourself, if you would just connect into the truth of who you truly are, which is your blue star, which is your soul purpose, if you would just remember that you are a soul, this body is a vehicle, your mind is nothing but a computer system. If you would just remember that and know that when you get that random download into your computer system, then that is coming from God, and that is a way that he wants to express himself through you. But don't take my word for it. I'm going to actually get some angel cards. So God, clarify this message of of being a channel and being the blue star. How can we trust these visions on our heart? How can we know that this is how you want us to express ourselves in the world? And how can we trust our blue star when we necessarily haven't in the past? Like, how can we move in this action of a channel? Like, how can we stop trying and just being? One final card. Oops. All right, well, that makes sense. He gave me two. And so God is saying the reason why it's so important for you to understand that you are a channel, and for you to understand that these visions that God is bringing to your life, those are the answers to your prayers. That is the way that he is answering your prayers. He's answering your prayers, and he's answering your prayers and working through you. That's how you are the channel. Like, right. I hope you're understanding that, right? Like, so you get the signal from God. You pray to God, right? You ask God to change something in your life, or you want something different than how your life is, right? So God gives you these visions, and the vision that he's giving you, or the prompting that he's giving you, is the answer to your prayer. And so if you were only to understand that that is the answer to your prayer, you will understand that he gave you that vision so that he can become a channel through you bringing that vision to life. You understand what I'm saying? So again, it's about not thinking about, not trying to do anything, but just understanding that, okay, so you're not trying to be a writer, you just are a writer. You're not trying to bring this book to life, you're just bringing this book to life. You hear what I'm saying? You're channeling it. We're all channeling, you know? When Jay be like, oh, I don't write, or I don't do this, or everybody, when I think I want to say it was Twilight, when she was like, oh, I just got this random vision that just came to me. We're all channels. That is how God expresses himself through us. Whether you are a physical artist or whether you are an architecture, whatever, that is how God shows up in the world through us. We are each channels for God. We are each vessels for God. And some of us use our power for good, and some of us use our power for, not good. For not the advancement of people. Some of us try to take power over others, but God is trying to get you to understand that true power comes inside. True power comes from you connecting to the blue star within you. God is saying you need to have this sense of contentment. You need to trust that wherever you are in life, the reason why it's important for you to understand that you are a channel and to understand that those visions that he put on your mind are for you to go after is so that you can stop feeling so panicky. A lot of us, we're just so like, oh, am I doing it right? Am I the right age? We're just so panicky that we're fucking up our own vibration. We're fucking up our own connection with God, whether, with that worrying, whether we should just submit to him and be like, you know what? You got it. You gave me this vision. This is the vision from you. I'm going to do what I need to do day to day to try to bring that vision to life. And everything else is God's, is your job. And that's what he's trying to get you to understand. I know you can't. I know ain't nobody in your family ever did this. I know you ain't never even seen nothing like this before. But you ain't got to worry about that. Just be content about where you are and know that you're gonna always have the tools and resources for the level that you are in. We got to calm down and stop trying to get somewhere. All of us are trying to be somebody and do this, and we're not. Everybody's so concerned with glowing up instead of growing up. It's like we just have to learn how to just be. It was something I was really big into Charlemagne, and I can't remember. I want to say it was either Debbie came on his show or somehow, or he was on her show, but she was talking about how there was something about Charlemagne. She said there was a calmness in his spirit. And Charlemagne said that it was because he always knew that he was going to do radio. He always knew that this was the path for him. There was no doubt in his mind. So whether it was fucked up or he was in between, he just knew he kept this same belief in the vision that he had. He just trusted that vision no matter where it led him. And I feel like that's what God is saying is necessary for you to just trust this vision that's on your heart. You have to commit to it. You have to commit to, okay, I'm going to bring this about no matter how long it takes, however I have to do it, I have to do it. I remember I used to have such shame because people would just be like, oh, you still working on your book? You still doing that? You still this? And it's I don't think people understand that it's not easy for one to write a fucking book. And that's not just, me to get people off my back, but that's just the reality. It's not fucking easy to write a book. Ask anybody. Ask writers who've been writing books. They'll tell you it's not easy writing a fucking book. And it's definitely not easy writing a book as a person who has went to school as an accountant, trained as an accountant, and never written a book before in my life. There's a period. And I was saying this in our last month video. I was saying this in the other video, but there was a period, and there's still a period that I'm going through where I have to allow my skill set to rise to the level of the vision. Yeah, I have an idea for a book. Yeah, I've been writing the same book 5 times, but I feel like I'm just now have the skill set to truly bring that vision to life. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's again about understanding that it's going to take time. At first I had to, it's a mindset shift that has to happen. as you're moving in this action. Because what God, and I love, that's why I really love this series, and that's why I listen to these fucking videos, because God is trying to get us to understand that we've been trying, we've been working, and a lot of us have been moving in the direction of our dreams, but we still haven't made that mindset shift of, oh, this is just what I'm supposed to do. It's different. It's different when you know something is yours versus you trying to get something, right? You approach it differently. If you paid for something and you ordered it at a restaurant, there's no doubt in your mind that they're not going to bring your order out. But if you're trying to steal the order from somebody else, or you're trying to get it from somebody, you're gonna approach it differently. That's all I'm trying to say. It's a different energy that it takes. It's a relaxation, an ease. You need to drop into the flow of life. You have to allow yourself to go through your process. Because if you rush it, then you're going to get it and you're going to fumble the ball, or you're going to get it and it's not going to feel right. And we've all done that. We've all done it. And if you're 30 plus, we've all worked towards something, got it, and was like, this don't feel right. Like, this don't feel how I thought it was going to feel. And it's because we were rushing to get there, or because we were trying to do somebody's checklist instead of really, truly thinking about, what do we want? Angel number 1111. That's what God is trying to get you to understand. We keep saying, oh yeah, I can create my new reality. I can create my own reality. But we're so focused on, at least other people are, and I'm not saying I ain't me, but we're so focused on like this little shit. Oh, I want to get a car, or I want to have this type of house, or I want to go on vacations. Like, we're thinking about the small shit, and God is trying to get you to understand you are a God. You are a God. So if you are a God, why are you you're trying to get the things to make you feel comfortable in this matrix or in this system that America has, versus trying to be like, I want to just birth a brand new reality. I just want something different. That's the problem with us trying to get this equality with white people, or trying to get them to, see our power, because we're trying to assimilate to their world. We're trying to understand their insaneness instead of just being like, this don't make no fucking sense. I don't want to operate in that reality. I see people every day. I work in a company where it's like, you guys are pretending to work. You're pretending to be adults, but you're not really an adult. Now I can see that there are adults who are grown, who are big ass kids who never matured. So what God is trying to get you to understand, stop focusing on the small shit and really focus on what you want to feel in the world, what you want to birth into the world, how you want this motherfucker to be. And then know that the visions and the tools and all of that is going to he's getting you there. You feel so touched by police brutality and by the prison reform system because obviously there's something in your soul. And I'm not saying like you're supposed to go out there and figure out how to help prison reform, but maybe that vision or that idea or whatever is what's going to help solve that problem. Because whether we want to believe it or not, we've been tricked to think that art is not powerful, but it is the most powerful thing there is, because now that we live in this world of post Black Panther, I don't know about you, but these fucking kids feel invincible. I remember watching Brown Skin Girl and just crying because I'm like, I have never seen no shit like this before in my life. Like, this was just so beautiful. And I could just only imagine, what would that be like if I grew up in that type of world? We have to create that world. Because if not, our kids are going to continue to suffer in this cycle of craziness that we're currently in. And God is saying it's time out for that. But he's trying to get you to understand there's no need for you to panic. There's no need for you to rush. There's no need for you to be like, am I doing the right thing? No. Have a sense of contentment. Have a sense of ease. Relax into this. Stop working so goddamn hard. That's how they tricked us. They put us in the slave, made us build this shit, and then turned around and called us lazy because we wanted to get payback for it. Ain't that about a bitch? The nerve of America, y'all. God is saying the reason why he wants you to understand that you're a channel and that you have the ability to bring these visions to life is because creativity is your birthright. Again, creativity, your creations is how God is able to express himself. I feel like I'm dealing with somebody who is struggling with this, like they are like a business-minded person, but they have all these creative ideas, or maybe they're super creative, but it's like they've been working so hard and they haven't seen a payoff and they don't believe in it no more. Like they don't feel like it's any money in it. And it's like, well, I just got to do what I got to do to survive. And God is saying, how long are you guys going to have that mentality? How long are you going to have this mentality of I got to do whatever I got to do to survive? God is saying, yes, I see that the deck has been stacked against you. I see that, you're discouraged. I see that you don't trust me. I see that you're not, you don't trust me. But if you don't trust me, how can I show you who I am? How can I show you the power and the love of being a child? How can I show you your full potential if you don't trust me? If you don't relax into the knowing that anything that you come to mind, anything that you want, I am doing everything in my power to birth it to light. That's my gift to you. That's my joy to you. There's a saying in The Artist's Way is, as I move closer to my creativity, I move closer to my divinity. Creations happen in 3 steps. That's why it's so, my process, I really feel like the process of, and I want to say I said this in a couple of videos ago, but the process of me writing my book, I feel like I have gotten so much closer to God. Like, I feel like I don't say I understand him, but I understand why people say, like, as you move closer to your divinity, as you move closer to your creativity, you move closer to your divinity, because again, it's showing you how you can take this idea and translate it and birth it into this world. Because where do it come from? Again, where do that idea come from? It has to come from him, because where the fuck else will it come from, right? But why don't we take it that way? We don't take it as, this is God. This is him speaking to us. God is saying he wants you to just surrender. Just surrender. Give up. Stop. And it's so funny. Last year, I was just like, I remember I was like so mad at God because it was just so much going on. Like, I'm sure like me, like everybody else, I just thought 2020 was going to be my fucking year. And it just was not my fucking year. And I was so frustrated. I was so mad at God, y'all. Like, I was cussing and yelling, and I was like, I fucking quit. I'm not doing this shit no more. Like, I'm not doing it. I give up. I don't want to try. I'm not doing this no more. And after I did that, I'm crying, I'm throwing my tantrum, and all I just hear is like, good, that's all I wanted anyway. It was like, give up your fucking control, because you're not smarter than God. You're never going to be able to figure out the ins and outs of his plan. You're never going to be able to see or plan how that vision is going to come about. So God is saying, just to fucking surrender. Just know that I'm going to do it. I'm not asking you to bend heaven and earth, but I am asking you to surrender to this idea of allowing me to channel myself through you. It's kind of selfish if you think about it. And it maybe not selfish is the right word, but it's kind of crazy. It's like, why are we denying ourselves the opportunity to become a channel? Like, it's kind of like, we keep looking at God and being like, well, you're not happening. You're not helping us. We praying to you. And it's just like that joke where it's like, well, I sent you 10 ships and your ass didn't take none of them. I sent you a life raft And you said, no, I'm waiting for God. You keep waiting for this physical person or this voice to come to you. And he do not operate like that. He's talking to you every single day. He's talking through you, through the ideas that come to your mind. He's talking through your songs. He's talking through, and he's always talking to you. But you got to know it. You keep praying to him and he's giving you these ideas. He's making these changes in your life. And instead of embracing the changes and instead of being like, oh, having a sense of contentment and being like, this must be my answer to my prayers, you're mad at God. You're being like, oh my God, I didn't ask for this. And God is like, well, how else am I going to do it? You have to surrender to how it's going to look. You just have to commit to the process. You have to commit to knowing that you are a channel and allowing God to channel through you so that you can be a healing energy in the world, so that you can do the things that you want to do. But it's not going to happen by you thinking that you're smarter than him. We keep saying, oh, I create my own reality. We are co-creating. It's a two-part thing. It's a relationship. And that's the part you're missing. You're demanding shit from God. I want this. I want that. It's a relationship. You want all these things, but you ain't doing shit to go bring them about in your life. It don't work that way. Angel number 2115. All right, God, clarify this message of channel, contentment, relaxation, creativity, surrender, and blue star. Oh my God, I cannot believe I spent 20 minutes and I don't have no fucking cards out. I gotta stop that. They gotta stop. I gotta do better, y'all. Angel number 111. Okay. Well, that makes sense. So God is saying the reason why the Fool came out, but the Fool came out reversed. And we know that the Fool is someone who is standing in their power, who is going on a brand new adventure. Angel number 2210. She's taking nothing but her cell phone and her dog. She's standing in the sun. Like, it's just kind of like a naive, foolish energy. But it's like, it's an excitement because you're doing something you've never done before. Like, think about when you first went to, if you ever, the first time you went on a plane or the first time you went on vacation. Remember just that excitement of being like, oh my God, I am going on a new adventure. That's what God wants you. That's why he gave you that idea, because he wants to get you to go on this new adventure so that he can, teach you how to be a channel, teach you how to co-create with God. But because you're scared, because you're, you don't have this trust to him, you're not able to go on this adventure. And so I feel like this reading is going about is because God is saying it's time for you to make a choice. Again, the Two of Wands for contentment, it came out reversed, which was mean you're not willing to make a decision. You're not willing to look at your options. It's like kind of like a stubborn energy a little bit. And so what God is saying is he needs you to make, if you really want change. And again, if you don't want change, close the video down. This isn't for you, but you do want change. Angel number 2323. And so God is saying, because you do want change, allow him to work through you. Allow yourself to become a channel for God. Allow yourself to look at those visions and those prompting as a call of action to God, and make this decision to go after your dreams by any means necessary. Commit to going on this journey. Commit to being content where you are. It don't matter if you had the right major, if you went to the right school, if you live in the right area. It don't matter. God knew exactly where you were when he gave you that vision, right? He didn't give you that vision and be like, but if only you moved to Vegas. Like, no, he didn't do that. Like, he just gave you the fucking vision, right? So just commit to going on this new adventure. Commit to taking that vision and seeing it through. And that's so crazy that the vision, the other reading, vision had an ace of wands. And this came out with the full reverse, because the Two of Wands here with Contentment, it's like you won't take that because you're still like, well, I don't have the right major, or I didn't do this, or I don't know how to do it, or I don't have the connections. And God is saying, I know you ain't got no connections. Like, I know all that. Just make a choice to go after it. At the beginning of this, goddess is the King of Pentacles, with relaxation. And when we see with the King of Pentacles, we see this guy. It's like he's sitting on his crown in the city landscape. For some reason, I'm getting this idea of like Manhattan, trust fund baby, or like, you know, like those kids that just come for money, like just stinking rich, you know, they have no care in the world. That's why they're able to go be, you know, dog walkers and be, you know, shit like that, because they don't have to worry about money. And so that's what God is trying to get you to understand, that you may not physically have that money, you may not physically have that trust fund, but he wants you to know that when you tap into that power of your God resource, when you tap into knowing that you are creative, knowing that it is your birthright to bring creations to life, then you tap into this power of your wealth. And on that, you know, like you tap into your spiritual wealth. You tap into a power that can't be, you know, no worldly person can take from you. You're rich. You're spiritually. It's just remember, your crown is bought and paid for. You got to know that all that suffering, all that blood, all that sweat, and those tears that our people have put into this earth, you have to know that that translate into wealth on the other side. And so what God is saying, relax. He knows where you are. He knows where you're trying to go. Chill out. Know that your crown is bought and paid for. Know that you are working from a place of victory. So it's no need for you to panic. It's no need for you to worry. Oh my God, is it going to happen? It's going to happen. It ain't a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when is it going to happen. It's not a matter of how it's going to happen. It's a matter of, are you going to be prepared for when it fucking happened, right? God is saying the reason why he wants you to understand it's so important for you to know that you are a channel, to know that it is your birthright to bring these creations to life, is because it's the King of Cups here. The reason why you have such a, you know, your traumatic past and all the stuff that you've been through, he didn't just put you through it for no reason. He gave you that so that you can transmute it into birth it into the world. We have to understand we take all this stuff so personal. We say, oh my God, God don't love me. God can give me all these fuck people in my life. Like he'll never give me love. But we have to understand that, for one, we didn't choose, well, we on a spiritual level chose the family that we chose to come into. So if we understand that we spiritually chose to come into this body, to come into this family, that means that anything that you've been through, whether it was abandonment, whether it was, you know, abuse, whether it was neglect, whether it was whatever it was, it obviously was something that our soul felt was necessary for us to go through in order for us to transmute it so that we can be the fool and be able to be the ruler of our kingdom, so that we can manifest the new reality. But the problem is that so often, because our past is so traumatic, because our past is so messed up, that we don't connect back to God. We take it as though we're not worthy. We don't surrender because we take it all to heart. I was recently watching Black Love, and it was the episode Stand By Me. And it was about this couple. And and I don't know if I ever saw this couple before, but they were Hampton graduates. And they were high school sweethearts. And they just, you know, you can just see the love. Like there's two beautiful individuals. And they had all of this love. They were able to make it through high school together, make it through college together, make it through grad school together. They got married. They were living a life together. They have a house. And then they finally got married. Like they were, they finally got pregnant, and they were at the time trying to figure out, like, when do we get pregnant? When is the right time to get pregnant? When do we do this? When do we go on this adventure? And they finally had someone intervene and say, there's never going to be a right time to get pregnant. It's never going to be a right time to go on this adventure. You just have to do it. If there's something you want, you just have to do it. And so she gets pregnant and they have this beautiful, beautiful pregnancy and they just talk about all this love, and then they lost their baby. I don't know why, what's the rhyme or the reason to it, but she ended up having to get a C-section. She woke up and the baby didn't make it. Like they said, they didn't even have a chance to pray because the baby was never in danger. And so I watched their story and I was just so emotional, and I just found myself I was like ugly crying. Like the fact where my dog was like, "Are you okay?" Angel number 2955. But what it made me realize is that we all have our battles to go through. Angel number 3006. We all have these things that we have to overcome. It's just like in a video game. If you've ever played a video game, I remember when I was younger, I was really into the 007 game. And it's like those first couple of levels, like they be easy, but it's like as you keep going up higher and higher, the video game get harder and harder. And sometimes, I remember this one time, it's like you can, you fell it 10, 15 times. And then eventually you're like, all right, I'm going to go into it differently. I'm going to do this differently. And that's the time that you're able to overcome the level. But so often, because we're not looking at our life like that, like we're not looking at our life as though we're just going through this simulation, like we're just going through these levels of life, just going through these challenges. We think that everything is just supposed to be just easy, fun. Like because we don't understand that that's just a part of life. When stuff happens to us, especially traumatic stuff happens to us, we hold on to it. And we allow that to form our identity. We allow that to make us who we are. We form ourselves over our trauma. We define ourselves by our trauma, rather. Instead of taking that pain, taking everything that we've been through and transmuting it. It's this book that I actually just kind of just put away, and it's called Grit. And I haven't finished the book, but because I was kind of like, I feel like I know this, honestly. But it's like, it was really just talking about like how some people, like it's shit that you've been through. Fuck the book. I'm just going to say this. It's stuff that you've been through that people would spend a day in your shoes and fumble, like, and just collapse. Like they couldn't even fucking make it. And you just living, breathing, still got ideas, still being optimistic. And instead of seeing, again, the blessing in that, instead of seeing in the blessing and being like, I done been through all this shit, but yet I still believe that I'm worthy of love. Yet I still believe that there's a small, tiny hope in me that feels like, well, maybe I can make this happen. Instead of using that as fuel to kickstart us and to know that it's our birthright to have this, we kind of be like, well, but nobody in my family did it. I ain't got the tools. Like we don't even give ourselves a chance. I realize, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to try to wrap all this up. But I realized that, for me to be such a lover, for me to want love so bad, I never gave myself a fucking chance. And to be honest, I never had a chance. And that's why I think I started crying so hard after I heard that story, because I realized that I was able to overcome that cycle. I've really, truly been able to overcome my past and release my past. And so this is why I don't want to confuse you guys, but I want to say this. When you were a baby, so remember I was telling you, you chose to come into this body, you chose to make whoever your parents, you chose these people, right? Now, from the ages of like 1 to 4, however that person chose to treat you, whether your parents were super loving or they were not loving at all, that forms your personality. That started to form your subconscious. That started to form your reality and to attract the experiences that you were attracting in your life just by that little small age of you just being raised. That's insane when you think about it, right? How could anybody, if you don't take that time to pause and to look at your life, to observe how you've gotten there, how could anybody stop that? You would just keep living out with that childhood thing. So let's take it back to people. Let's take it back to slavery. There was a disconnect between the mom and the dad. There was a disconnect between it because you don't want to love your baby so much that you make them soft, and then you don't want to be soft because then the master will kill you and want to make them too strong because then, so it's like there was a disconnect. There was no nurturing for some of us. Some of us don't have loving moms. Some of us some of us was not nurtured. So of course, we're going to go out into the world and we're going to become people pleasers. Of course, we're going to come out into the world and we're going to become easy targets for people to pick over us, for people to use us, for people to take advantage of us. Of course. But again, remember, there was always a plan. There was always a reason why you were going through that. And so if only you would just take a pause and to realize, okay, I was never nurtured. I was never protected. My needs were never met. Of course, I would end up with these people. Of course, I would pick a career that didn't really satisfy me because I didn't think that my fucking needs were valid in the first fucking place, right? Of course, I never felt worthy. But the blessing is you recognize that now. The blessing is you see that now. So now that you see that, now that you're able to understand how your life was able to create from that place of that reality, from you being a baby, now you can start to create something completely new because you have that awareness now, right? Now you know that you want to set yourself up for success, right? Now you know you want to get yourself in the career that's in alignment with your personality. Now you know you're going to get in a relationship with someone who actually wants to fucking be in a relationship, right? You're going to set yourself up for success. You're not going to keep being that baby. And that's why I can't judge people. I can't judge my parents or anybody else because when the fuck did they ever have the time to sit there and think about their life? We've been all so in this fucking, again, with this contentment and this relaxation, we all have been in this survival mode, this go, go, go mode. And God is saying, when the fuck is it going to stop? When are you going to stop surviving and trust me enough to teach you how to thrive? And so that's what God is trying to get you to understand this in this message that, yes, I know the pain that you have been through. But it's time for you to transmute it. It's time for you to see a new reality, to go on new horizons, to see who you really could become. All right, God, give us a tool that we can use to help us be able to become a channel, to help us be able to be the fool and go on a new journey. God, what tool that we can use so that we can surrender to our mind, surrender to everything around us, and to just trust that, this is the life that is meant for us, to trust that our crown has been bought and paid for, to trust that everything that we've been through in our past was just to help us become the person that we are today. How can we get there, God? Make it as plain as possible. 1 or 2 messages only. This makes so much sense. Angel number 3818. I have control over the thoughts I think. Since you have control over what thoughts you offer, what could be more just than the powerful law of attraction responding equally to everyone who offers a vibration? Remember what I was telling you. If you've had a childhood of where you had neglect and abuse, subconsciously, you feel as though you only deserve neglect, abuse, and chaos. Until you stop, pause, observe your life, realize that you are worthy of different, you're going to create that same cycle over and over. Angel number 39. Once you gain control over the thoughts you think, your sense of injustice will subside. And it will be replaced with an exuberance for life and a zest to create that which you were born with. Let everything in the universe be an example to you of the way the laws of the universe works. I mean, do I have to spell that out? He knows where you are. He knows what you've been through. But now it's on you to be like, I want something different. I'm going to choose different for myself. I am becoming more aware about my feelings about money, my feelings about life. So many fucking people is numb. They don't know how the fuck they feel. They just out here just working. But I gotta survive. The discontentment, that depression is a gift. It's a gift. Because again, it's information. It's a call to response to get you to do something differently. Many people protest when we explain the power of telling the story of their finances as they want it to be rather than as it is, because they believe that they should be factual about what is happening. But if you continue to look at lack for what is and speak of what is, you will not find the improvement that you desire. So what God is saying, if you keep looking at yourself and keep saying what you don't have, what you don't have, what you don't have, you're going to continue to have what you won't have, what you won't have, what you won't have. That's why God is saying, relax into the knowing that your crown is bought and paid for. Relax into the knowing that abundance is your natural birthright. Once you know that it's your natural birthright, then you'll be like, it's easy. All of it's gonna come to you, right? Then you can start speaking differently, wanting differently. And if you start speaking differently, wanting differently, feeling differently, you're gonna be vibrating differently. You will not find but if you continue to look at lack for what is and speak of what is, you will not find the improvement that you desire. If you want to effect substantial change in your life experience, you must think thoughts that feel different as you think them. Trust God. You don't trust him. You don't trust yourself. You don't feel really truly capable. It's a cool idea, but you don't feel like it's yours. You got to feel it. Angel number 42. All right. I'm going back to work your light. Actually, I'm going to do work your light and I'm going to do this. God, what blessing comes to us if we begin to take control over our thoughts, God? What happens if we recognize that we are a channel and that these visions are ordained by you, God? What if we begin to tap into that blue star? What if we surrender to the pain of our past, surrender to life flows, and just trust you? Relax into the knowing that our crown is bought and paid for. What blessing comes to us, God? Make it as plain as possible. A blessed time. The path is clear and all obstacles have vanished. Your time of waiting is over. So proceed with confidence. The challenges you have faced were essential, for there is a perfect time for everything. Now is your perfect time to be blessed by the universe. So what God is trying to say is, yes, I know that you have been through a lot. I know that your people been through a lot. I know that your family been through a lot, but you have to know that this universe works into balance. So if your people been through a lot, you've been through a lot. What do that mean? Your best day is ahead of you. I think it was in the Central Park 5 story, when they see us, he said, my bad luck been ran up. And that's the attitude you got to take. My bad luck been ran up. We been and did that fuck shit. It's good days ahead of me. And that's not to say that you're not going to have challenges, because remember, this is a video game. With a new level come new challenges, but they're going to be different ones. God is saying, what you've been through in the past, you ain't never got to go through that no more. These challenges are going to be different type of challenges. And you're going to be able to go through them because you learned how to be able to transmute and become the alchemist of your life. Angel number 4404. This is mastery, guys. God is trying to teach us how to become masters. This is master level teaching. Namaste blessing. The divine in me acknowledge the divine in you. I bow to you and honor the inner light of pure and unconditional love. Eternal peace be with you. Eternal love be with you. Eternal joy be with you through this splendidity blessing. God is just trying to get you to understand that you are a blessing. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. We are all divine beings. Our visions, our creations, the way that we live is how God channels himself through life. I think the world is so cold and America is so soulless because we forgot that we are gods. We forgot to tap into the spiritual side. We forgot to allow that love to shine through us. All of us, we're so trying to be protected. We don't want to be taken advantage of that we stop loving. We're so busy trying to protect ourselves from the enemy that we're starting to become the enemy. And we'll never win that way. All right, God, give us one final message to clarify this blessed time and this namaste blessing. God, what are you trying to get us to understand about becoming more aware about our feelings of money, about having control over our thoughts, about really being content on our journey and allowing ourselves to become the alchemists of our lives? God, what do you want us to know about knowing that as we move closer to our creativity, we move closer to our divinity? Make it as plain as possible. One, last one. So this is why God is telling you to just take control of your thoughts. His message is so clear. He just wants you to relax, be content, take control of your thoughts. Transmute your pain because you're already doing it. Stop overthinking it. Keep facing true north. Angel number 3630. He's saying you're already on the path. You're already doing. A lot of us, we keep feeling like there's something more I should be doing. There's something more I should be doing. And God is saying you're doing it all. How much more can you be fucking doing? Chill out. We take everything. We make everything into a project. Our spirituality, our finances. Like we got all these fucking projects that we want to do. And God is saying he know where you want to go. He know what you want to do. He not asking you to do it all. Even down to your diet. I realized, I was like, oh, I was so worried. I don't want to lose weight. I want to do. It's like your body will naturally, again, knowing that we're in this vehicle, your body will naturally start doing what it needs to do. I had a bag of flaming hot fries. My stomach was hurting. I said, oh, it's time out for that. Now I want to Mediterranean. Your body will naturally start to gravitate what it needs to gravitate towards. God is saying, what is in your life? What needs to be aligned and what needs to change? Is your thought process need to change? Do your environment need to change? Do you make a decision on how you're going about it? What needs to change so that you can bring yourself into alignment? All right, let's read these messages. Let me get y'all on out of here. I think this is a confirmation card. Yep, confirmation card. Angel number 30. God is saying, stop tripping. You're already doing it. Do not question things so much. You are on the right track. Do not question things so much. You are on the right track. You are facing the right way. Stop overthinking it. It's happening. And you're closer than you think. You are exactly where you need to be and things are moving at the perfect speed. Do not rush it. Now is not the time to be impatient. Now is the time to walk steady. There is no rush. What you are building is being built. What you have planted soon will blossom. With every new day, a new brick is being laid. You have come a long way. The foundations are steady. Now all that is needed is for you to trust and keep walking forward. If a thought that things should be moving faster into your head, that is just your ego comparing your rising to someone else's. Comparison is not your friend. Stay in your lane. Water your own garden, knowing that your time to blossom will come soon. Keep doing it. Keep going. So God is saying, I think a lot of you guys, you've been on, because you've been doing this for so long, or because you've been, you know, on this path, you're like, oh, maybe I should stop. Maybe I could. God is saying, stop. You're doing what you're doing. You're doing the best you can do. Just keep committing. Every single day, commit to this journey. Every single day, commit to becoming the best person that you could be. Commit to transmuting your emotions and feeling your emotions and being alive. Because we need it. Commit to transmuting this pain and completely surrendering to the divine plan. Your final message is, again, another action, which I love. Is it an action? Oh, maybe not. It's an inquiry card. So something that you should think about. I'm going to leave you with this. Angel number 5005. What in your life is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? We are cyclical beings in a constant state of change, of evolution, of growth. Change is one of the only certainties of life. When you resist your cyclical nature, you resist life and feel stuck. Many of us have learned to be who the world wants us to be. But there comes a time when it is harder to hold onto this facade than it is to embrace who we truly are. To surrender to how we changed and align life to the way of being. If you pull this card, you're being called to let go of who you once were or the things you once defined yourself by. The job, the relationship, and the mask you wore. To embrace who you truly are now. To courageously step into the person that you came here to be in full authenticity. To embrace your weirdness and your uniqueness. Perhaps you have outgrown some relationships, circumstances, and now is the time to reassess and bring all parts of your life into alignment so that they are congruent with who you truly are. What is not aligned? What needs to change? So I will leave you guys with that. Oh, because God is trying to get you to your soul family. Angel number 5125. He's trying to get you to the places that you want to do, to the experiences that you want to have, to feel the way that you want to feel. But there's going to be a need for you to surrender to the things that are no longer serving for you. It's going to be a need for you to truly connect to the blue light and to align and taking control of your life and aligning to the life that is truly for you. Because right now you are moving through a blessed time and you are the blessing. So what are you going to do? All right, y'all. That's all the messages I have for you. I truly hope that it was beneficial for you. If you made it to the end of this video, please give me your key takeaways. If not, at least give me a thumbs up. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. Namaste. I really enjoyed that message. I hope you did too.